Hail and well met, Shire folk. Now I hope you guys have had a good holiday season and you've gotten a chance to spend time with friends and family. Now, as we transition away from the holidays and into the icy, cold, depressing winter months, for many of us who enjoy the hobby of LARPing, this is the time where our LARP gear is tucked away in a closet collecting dust. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? In today's video, we teamed up with Skilltree to do an awesome winter cold weather medieval camping trip. Now before I get into the details of that trip, I'm gonna send it over to Abby to discuss a new partnership that we have that made this camping trip possible.
So you've probably heard that we attended a LARP this summer called Reckoning LARP. While we were there, we got into contact with some people who worked for a company called Burgschneider. So Burgschneider is a German company that produces clothing and accessories for kind of medieval and fantasy aesthetics, and their pieces are perfect for things like reenactment, LARP, etc. So as we got into discussions with these people from Burgschneider, we found that though they're a German company, they've actually just opened their very first warehouse here in the United States. And they expressed that they're interested in making LARPing more accessible to the US market. And that's kind of the exact same thing we're doing here at our channel. Our goal is to make LARPing more accessible to people in the United States, where LARPing still isn't a huge hobby. So we were able to connect over that and make really good conversation and get to hear more about Burgschneider in the process. So while we'd heard good things about Burgschneider products, we'd never actually gotten to try them ourselves. So we were obviously interested in testing out some of this Burgschneider gear to see how well it worked for us. And Burgschneider was super helpful and willing to send us along some stuff so that we could test it out, review it, and see how well it worked for our LARPs and our events. So what we did is we decided that we were most interested in their wool winter items, those kind of cold weather pieces that are meant for camping or for LARPing in cold weather. So with the cold weather coming up, we decided that we would have a Burgschneider winter camping extravaganza. So over my underlayer of leggings and stockings, I started to layer on my Burgschneider gear. I started with this olive green short tunic and my red and gray roost pants in herringbone. On top of that, I added on this gray wrap dress, also in wool, and then to spruce that up, I threw on this wrap apron in red, and then also added on some leather accessories, a belt, and a few other things, and my little fingerless gloves to keep my fingers warm. On top of all this, I added the olive green justice cloak to kind of give me a little bit more coverage from the cold, and the look was complete.
So on top of my underlayer of long johns, I started off with a black herringbone pair of roost pants and a herringbone woven tunic in olive. And then I added a gray Loki Viking coat. On top of that, I added a leather belt with some leather accessories such as a bottle, a pouch, and a knife, and then added my leather cutoff gloves. Then I added a hat and cap along with a hooded hibernus cloak in autumn green. And as another variation, I tried a standalone hood with my adventurer's pack and my wool blanket. And of course, I have my trusty walking staff. So now that we were ready to start our adventure, Eric and I went out to find a location for the camp.
It's a wonder you didn't get lost.
In less than 2 hours, we thought we could walk no more, and then we finally crested one more hill and saw the perfect location for our camp. It was muddy, gray, and ugly, but so was everywhere else.
Thus begins the construction of Casa del Larp Shire. Obviously, we are professionals and know exactly what we're doing.
I will say, each time we've put up this tent, it's gotten a little bit faster.
So really, we are becoming professionals.
I think that would require us getting paid.
So if you subscribe to our Patreon, we could actually add that as one of our titles.
There you go. But yeah, the tent went up fairly quickly, and we were able to get everything staked down and get our little awning up as well.
You may notice it's beautiful and milky white, which it probably will not be by the end of this muddy trip.
Now that the tent was up, we set down some waxed canvas tarps on the ground to keep us away from that mud, and then we started setting up our very modern camping cots.
Remember, the goals are vibes and warmth, not accuracy.
Then we added a wool blanket and some other blankets, as well as some furs to make it nice and cozy.
Here you can see Matthew taking advantage of the coziness, making himself right at home, as usual. You may also notice that Skilltree actually joined us.
Maddie in the wild.
Most of Skilltree. We have Maddie, and Maddie we were having a great time with. We were enjoying, and she helped set up the tent, and it helped us get this video. Kit, we have no sign of. We don't know where he went. We hope that he's okay out there, wherever he is.
Where am I?
Set, go.
Whoa! Oh no.
Oh no, he can throw it back at us?
Oh
Look at this one.
no! Definitely broke that.
That
That one's still not broke.
Did not break.
Throw it again.
Is
Throw it
Is
again.
that one hard boiled? Throw it back. Throw it back.
Get him. It sounds like it's still fine.
This is a hard boiled egg, guys. Did they give us like what kind? Did they give us an ostrich egg?
It's fine.
Are you kidding me? What the heck? Is it cracked anywhere?
No,
No.
it's not.
There's no crack, no damage. I don't know why it is the way that it is.
Wait, yeah, start with Abby. We'll do it pinata style.
Okay.
Oh, you're
For
so
the weakest
funny.
person.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Oh my god. Maddie, get up there.
Look at the
Oh
dent.
my God.
It dented the mud.
That's solid.
What's going
It's
Wow.
I missed.
she's
it's
still
still fine.
okay.
My next.
I think you're next.
Yeah, you're next.
Here we go.
We've been trying to destroy this
We're all
egg
here
for
like,
hours.
the egg! Praise the egg!
Praise the egg.
Do you think this is a Wendigo egg?
Ow, dude.
I don't understand.
Eric, get up.
Is this a joke egg?
Insane.
Hooray!
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, shell to shell, yolk to yolk. We are gathered here to celebrate the short but mighty life of this small egg. Who knows if he had not been cut down in his youth, what he would have amounted to one day. Perhaps he would have led nations in...
After we realized we had destroyed all of our eggs, we decided to travel to ye old grocery store while Matthew and Eric set up the fire for dinner.
Abby, we're going on a quest to a dangerous land.
Yeah.
An unknown land.
To our favorite gas station.
Better than beef bouillon.
What's better than beef bouillon?
Mushroom base. Better than
Mushroom
bouillon mushroom base. I never heard of that.
Ramen.
Gonna keep it
Rob.
And so darkness fell over our humble camp, but luckily Matthew and Eric had started the fire and we could begin the process of preparing dinner.
For this meal, I'm creating a twist on a classic dish. I call it stroganoff. I start off with a can of some beef broth, along with a couple different cans of various mushroom soup. Then I added a couple packs of pre-cooked beef and gave that all a good stir. I then added some thin, long egg noodles and gave that a stir, and added some additional broth. Once that was all stirred and ready to go, we put it on the fire. We left it there for an unknown amount of time while checking occasionally and stirring it.
It's not my
You're not
problem.
gonna see it.
That's looking real tasty though.
After pulling it off the fire and checking that the noodles were thoroughly cooked and giving it a nice stir, I added some additional seasonings such as parsley, as well as some grated Parmesan cheese.
We strongly recommend that before you add in your salt, you double check as to whether or not it's actually sugar.
Pour so
Wait, are you sure that's salt, honey?
It's either salt or sugar.
Honey, I'm gonna hit you with this information. I think that's sugar.
I then began doling out the food like I worked at an orphanage in Oliver Twist.
Good sir, might I have some more slop?
As the day ended, we enjoyed one another's company around the fire and feasted on our hearty and slightly sweet meal of stroganoff.
Say something controversial.
Say something profound, because you're in good focus right
Say
now.
something profane. Say something. You're on camera.
No, Maddie.
Last night.
Faster we run. That's it.
The faster we run,
Whoa.
the further we get away.
Oh no!
Oh no,
Don't burn yourself!
As we told stories and sang songs, we also couldn't help but wonder where Kit might be and what he might be doing at this very moment.
After a full hour and 45 minutes of sleep, we awoke to the sun shining and the birds singing.
And now a word from Eric.
Oh gosh, that kind of hurt. Yeah, I've really been surprised with the this overcoat, with how warm it keeps you. We were collecting firewood yesterday, and it really, I was doing some splitting and chopping, and it really started to warm up quick. So really liked that. That was really nice. In fact, it got to the point where I just had to take it off and set it aside for a little bit because I was really overheating.
Alright, so now that we've got the fire going again this morning, we're going to cook up some breakfast. It's going to be pretty simple. We've got some biscuits and some bread and some bacon and eggs. It was cold enough out last night for us to be able to have that bacon out and some eggs without any worry of it going bad. So I've got a big pan here. I'm just going to cook it all in one pan, and then we'll go ahead and eat.
So you have caught me in my Burgschneider undergarments that I wore to sleep. These are my pajamas. I slept in all Burgschneider clothing pretty much, and the only parts of me that got cold, and the temperature did drop when the sun went down, the only parts of me that got cold were the parts of me not covered in Burgschneider. So my fingertips and my ears got a little bit chilly because right as I was trying to fall asleep, Ben kept asking if anyone wanted a balaclava. And I kind of was wondering why he was asking if anyone wanted a Greek pastry at like the middle of the night. I was like, I'm not hungry. But he kept asking. I had no idea what he was talking about. I went to sleep, and then in the morning I woke up and saw he was wearing like a Buzz Lightyear head sock. I was like, man, I could have used that last night. My ears were so cold. I had to like bundle up in my sleeping bag. And he was like, this is a balaclava. I asked like 100 times if anyone wanted a balaclava. And I could have used a balaclava, but at the time I thought it was just a delicious Greek pastry. So my ears were chilly and my fingertips were chilly, but the rest of me was kept very warm by this wool gear, and I was actually pretty comfortable and slept pretty well through the night.
And now we're ready for breakfast.
So we had a visitor last night.
Yeah, if you can believe it, we were approached actually under the light of the moon by a vindictive woodland spirit.
Yeah, we might have jokingly summoned him, but
Yeah, we were jokingly like, oh man, wouldn't it be hilarious if we like beckoned a woodland wendigo?
the fire, blowing grass,
and making these awful
and then
really
we
loud
looked
sounds.
behind
Specify
us.
what blowing grass means.
He was blowing the grass, doing a little duck call, but
Doing a
so
duck call?
loud. And we're in a funnel between these two hills, so
Yeah.
it just funneled out this really echoey, loud noise. And you're like, oh man, we're gonna summon something. And then I looked over onto the far hill, and I
There
saw
was a red light.
the glowing red eyes of a woodland spirit.
So what did we do?
We told Maddie to go get some pictures of it.
And I did. And then while I was taking pictures of him, I started giving him directions of how to pose, and he listened.
Yeah. You
So
told him to do a little dance.
So eventually I'm like, do a little dance.
He did a little
He did a little
dance.
dance. When I told him to do the Thriller, he didn't know how to do that.
He tried though.
He tried, but he didn't really know.
Yeah.
Well, what did you expect? I mean,
In the woodlands, they don't really get Michael Jackson. Like, it's not.
They're uncultured.
Michael Jackson hasn't hit the woods yet.
So much food.
Toast. We'll split it into 4.
I'm Eric, and this is Contraptions with Eric. Now normally, you've got one stick where you're toasting something on, but that thing, it'll just spin around the stick when you try to roast the other side. Today I'm here to show you 2 sticks tied together with some rope. All the problems of one stick are gone, with just a simple addition of another stick. Now you can roll it and toast all sides with none of the spinning of the toasting thing that's being toasted. Watch now as I toast this thing and spin it to toast all sides equally. With 0 spinach of the bread.
Spinach.
You were always jealous of my contraptions.
You think I should?
This morning, Eric, when you were snoring.
When I tapped you on the shoulder, it's because Ben told me to do it because you were snoring.
Oh, yeah.
Snoring like me, 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 me.
Kind of cool with me.
I just want to record you.
Ben just likes to watch.
Oh no, there's a bug in There's a bug in mine.
Eat it, more protein.
I don't want to eat it.
This morning I was trouncing around the woods, as I do.
Yeah.
Singing little songs with the birds and the squirrels.
It's very annoying when we're all trying to sleep.
Yeah, they were swirling all around me. It actually gets a little scary at one point when like the squirrels are all following you and you know that they love you and that's why they want to be near you, but then when they're all swirling around, crawling up and down your body with their little furry bodies and furry legs touching every part of you, it gets a little scary.
Yeah, that's always scary.
So I was out. So I was doing my morning walk, searching, for flowers and turnips and such in the mud. So this is obviously a very fertile time of year. But I did find one tree that was still bearing eggs.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're eating right now, is actually while the squirrels were running up and down my body with their
They
tiny
let you
little
take the eggs?
furry,
They must really like it.
miniature human hands all over my skin. I was able to find eggs still hanging on one of the trees that had not yet been plucked. And so I plucked some of those eggs, and then we got to make a nice breakfast out of them.
I've never seen anyone eat bread like that.
One time, there I was, crossing the street, and a carriage comes out of nowhere, flattens me, bam. Wake up with a constable looking down at me. You can call me Mike. And I knew I was dying because he sounded very, very sad. Take me to the infirmary. Like, how are you doing? Like, I've had worse, never had worse in my life. They wheel me back there on a gurney, stitch my head up, and say, you're good to go. I was not good to go.
It was not good to do.
After enjoying our breakfast, our time in the wilderness was coming to a close. We cleared everything out of the tent and began the process of taking it down. Overall, I was really pleased with how the Burgschneider gear worked out. Some things did run a little bit small, so after consulting the size chart, I made an order and generally ordered a size up in most of my pieces. Having done that, everything fit really well and really comfortably. It did a good job of keeping us warm in the frigid temperatures and looked really nice and high quality.
I was also really happy with all of my Burgschneider products. I loved how warm they kept me, as well as the details and the overall quality of each of the pieces, and I definitely plan on adding more Burgschneider pieces to my various LARP kits in the future. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I know we had a blast filming it. Big thanks to Maddie from Skilltree for coming out and participating with us, and Kit, I hope you're okay, man. That's all I can say. Also, a huge shout out to Burgschneider for providing the kit pieces in this video. The link to their website is in the description below, so do check them out. As always, guys, if you enjoy this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on our other social media. Also, consider becoming a patron on our Patreon. Big shout out to everyone who contributes to that. You guys really do help us to have these adventures and create more content like this. As always, we hope to see you in the next video. Adventure awaits.
Prince Ali, handsome lady.